What's up, everyone? So today we have a face-off between Bunkerkings Command Mask and the EVS Empire Mask. Okay, we're gonna look at the two and compare them and basically see which one's better, okay, and see which one's gonna work out for you. If you want to see all the details in the Bunkerkings mask, go ahead and check out that video. If you want to see all the details in the Empire mask, go ahead and check out that video as well. This is just a face-to-face head-off since I do have both masks in hand. Okay, so let's get into it and see what it's all about. Okay, so let's start with lens comparison. Okay, as you can see, both lenses are really nice. You have the bridge here that kind of protrudes into your vision, you may think, but in reality this goggle here, the EVS, has it in the rear. Okay, so it's internal, and that does the same thing. I mean, it's going to hinder your vision just as much as this one does, because your nose is a certain height and that bridge needs to sit on the nose properly right in here in order for it to support your goggle. So whether it's out here or behind the lens, I mean, it does the same thing. The nice thing about having it behind the lens is there's less area to clean if you get hit. It's more of a smoother surface that you got to clean off, so it makes cleaning a little bit easier. But that's, I mean, that's being nitpicky there. As far as height wise, the EVS has a lot larger lens, but doesn't mean you get more peripheral vision, because you still have that hindrance, so it's an illusion. But it is wider, so you do get more width with this lens. Okay, some could argue that's going to add visibility to your peripheral vision because it's further out, or some people could argue since it's further out, it creates depth and it doesn't create an eyesight, eye relief style goggle, whereas this, being real close up to your eyes, you know, it kind of blurs out those things that are obstructing your vision, and it kind of creates an effect where it feels like you have nothing on. All right, so to each is their own. It depends on your eyesight as well. For the goggle itself, how it wraps around, these appear to wrap around a little bit further back, but these are a lot wider as far as height. Okay, whether or not that's going to benefit you, I mean, that's personal opinion and personal preference, to be honest, because anything past a certain degree in your eyesight is just a blur vision anyway. Okay, you might be able to pick up movement, but it is what it is. Okay, as far as the roof of the goggle, okay, your EVS lens does not have any visor, so it does not block direct sun. So if sun was coming down right here, it could bleed through the lens, whereas this one has a little bit of a lip, so rain and direct sunlight kind of gets a little bit shaded, and in a rainy situation it should theoretically fall off the front and not really hit your lens. Okay, you could apply some Rain-X or whatever to the lens if you're worried about that, and it'll bead up and it'll do the same thing as far as it does on your car. You know, it keeps the rain off and it will drip off really fast. Okay, so some Rain-X should fix that. As far as design in the goggle or in the lens, I do like this design better because it goes into a point, whereas this is all squared off. This to me looks like it's fast. It just looks aggressive, whereas this one doesn't. But the Command Mask having this visor, it looks aggressive, or more aggressive. It looks like the Master Chief helmet. If you ever played Halo in the past, that's what this kind of looks like it came from. Whereas this one, it looks like it belongs in space, where you're not dealing with direct sunlight. Okay, and then also you have no visor here, which doesn't give it that aggressive look. You have more of a round jawline here, whereas this one has a more structured jawline and it looks a little bit more aggressive. This the goggle here is going to come down to what fits your face better. This one, if you have a medium to smaller face, this one's going to perform better for you. If you have a medium to large face, this one's going to perform better for you, okay? If you're in the middle, that's why I said medium to large, medium to small. You could go either way. All right, this is what the backs look like when comparing them. There's not much difference here. I mean, as far as ventilation, they both have pretty close to the same amount of ventilation there. Whereas the front jawline, your command mask is going to breathe a lot better. It's a lot more open than your EVS. This one doesn't really have issues with fogging up, echoing. I mean, depending on how loud you are, it could echo potentially. The benefit to having less openings in the mouth line is the fact if you get hit with BB, if you're playing airsoft, or if you get hit with paint, you don't have to worry about that hitting you in the lip. And also you don't have to worry about eating a lot of paint, okay? The EVS is a lot stiffer than the command mask, so if you get hit here, you don't have to worry about it popping you in the lip. Whereas this one is more flexible. It's not really flexible, but it is more flexible than the EVS. So if someone gets a good shot off on you and you have a larger mouth, you can potentially get hit in the jaw or the lip. Same thing with the jawline. If you have a larger head, this mask in particular doesn't cover your mandible as well as the EVS. I'll show you that right now, so that way you could see. So I'll clip it as well, so that way you can see how it rides, okay? So as you can see right here, you can see my lower jaw, okay? If I pull it down, you can still see the jawline. Same thing with this side. So you could potentially get hit right here, and that's gonna hit your bone. For my chin area, I mean, I can potentially get hit if I lifted my head. But I mean, it's pretty close. You know, it does drop down a little bit, so that could be an issue. But yeah, definitely on the side. So if you have that defining jawline like I do, that might be a no-go for you. This is what it looks like underneath. Okay, so I do have a gap here. So if I get hit right here, like that's not touching my face. So, I mean, it's not gonna hurt that bad, okay? This may hurt because this is really close to my cheek. So that might be an issue. So really defined jaw lines, this may be an issue for you, okay? Now for the EVS, these are just a lot easier for me to put on because they're wider. So as you can see right here, my jawline's exposed, okay? So that could really hit me pretty hard. This is a little bit above my bone, but then when you get to the front, it kind of slopes downward. So my jawline is definitely above the front, and hopefully you get hit in the front and not the side, you don't get ambushed, okay? My ears are covered pretty nice. Same thing with these. But yeah, this is the only part that's vulnerable. But I think I'd rather have the sides vulnerable than the face, because I mean, everything you're shooting at, you're shooting at head on. But that's what it looks like. Okay, and then the forehead as well. Okay, so for comfort, I think these are a little bit more comfortable than these, only because I'm a medium to large as far as head size. So I'd be leaning more towards these for comfort. But I do like these because they're sleek, and when you shoulder your weapon, these are closer to my cheek, so that way it's not pushed out, you know, and I'm like up above my weapon itself. Okay, so it's all personal preference in the way you like to run your things. Okay, now for the foam, I'd say the EVS feel a little bit more of quality than the Bunkerkings. That's my personal opinion, only because these are a little bit more plush. The foam feels a little bit more plush. This feels a little bit more spongy, and this feels a little cheap, this middle foam. As far as lens removal, the EVS, I'd say, has a better lens removal system. The lens removal system on the EVS here is metal, okay? So you got more metal components, whereas this one, it's plastic, all plastic. I mean, to each is their own, but plastic breaks, metal's a little bit more higher quality. And then they also have like retaining C-clamps, clips that go in there, little C-clips that hold like the bar and all that stuff. So I mean, hardware costs money. I think this one's a little bit more better as far as price. You're bang for your buck, the quality that you get. I think this one, you're getting more quality than this one. This one says made in the USA for the goggle strap, okay, but it is a Chinese made, it says made in China for the mold. This one doesn't say anything, but it has date stamps on the inside of it. So right here you got date stamps. Let's see if this strap is made in the USA. It says Bunkerkings. It says made in Taiwan for the strap. So you got Taiwan, you got USA strap, made in China shell, and I don't know where this shell's made because it doesn't say. This whole thing may be made in Taiwan, but there's no marks that say that this frame is particularly made in Taiwan. Okay, so if you've watched my video on the Bunkerkings Command Mask or the Empire EVS mask, you'll know that the reason why I have these two is because I got them at a good deal. Each one of these masks, I'm designing a air system to cool down your head. I'm designing a mount for the GoPro to attach to that whole system, and I'm designing an area where you could put a crown of spikes so you don't have to wear a bandana or a hat to protect your forehead. So stay tuned for that if you're interested in the cosmetic updates, or if you're just interested in the cool factor of it. So that's in upcoming videos. As I get time, I'm going to be producing that type of stuff, and I just think it looks cool. I mean, the whole purpose of you not getting the full helmet mask is to look cool, right? So might as well throw some aesthetics onto the mask that we currently have. All right, so for the verdict, the final conclusion, which mask would I choose? If I was looking at this for aesthetics and I was interested in the aesthetics only, I'd choose the Bunkerkings mask because it just looks better in my opinion, okay? If I was going over worth, value, and actually fitment and how it integrates with my face, I mean, most of that's going to be determined on you, but I feel like the value, you're getting more for your money if you go the EVS route, okay? As far as functions concerned, I think both of them have their benefits and then their cons as well. So their pros and their cons. I mean, this mask here has less ventilation. You have less potential of getting hit in the mouth with paint or BBs going through, whereas this one, people have been known to get a mouthful of BBs going through these vents, but also paint because it's well ventilated. But on the upside, you do get better ventilation, especially if you're a heavy breather or if you're running a lot. This is the mask to go with, you know. So I mean, it ultimately comes down to personal preference and what you're going to use it for, okay? Both masks, in my opinion, are even as far as their uses, because people are going to like this one over this one as far as aesthetics. People are going to like this one because the build quality over this one. This one seems like it's a cheaper approach than this, and you get more value for your money as far as the hardware is concerned. And then people might not care about that and just want the cool factor. So it's all basically comes down to your preference. So if you're interested in any of the details pertaining to each one of these individual masks, go ahead and check out each one of these individual videos that I have posted, because they'll basically give you a more in-depth look at each one of these masks on their own. But that's going to complete today's video. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. It's greatly appreciated. If you want to see content like this and other content I'll be posting in the near future, consider subscribing. Until next time, I'll see y'all in the next one. Thanks for watching.